Hey everyone, it's Carmelia Ray here, and I have been on a bit of a sabbatical, but I am coming back to you now in 2024, recording my first episode of 2024. I didn't even tell Melitsa this, okay? She is the first guest of the new year, will not be my last, and I have a feeling that she'll be a recurring person as I move along in this podcast and in this year, because her and I have recently partnered up on a few amazing collaborations. And today we're talking all about networking mastery. And really, I'm going to borrow her line of being one connection away from dot, 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 whatever that is. So, Melitsa, welcome to my podcast. Tell everybody a little bit about who you are. I like people to kind of introduce themselves because I'm going to brag about you this entire time. So,
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. What an honor to be here. I'm super excited that we get to finally collaborate and make things happen. You're truly one of my favorite people that I have met throughout the years of being in this business. So thank you so much for this invitation.
of course.
My name is Melitsa Waage. I'm the founder of the #1 monthly entrepreneurship event here in South Florida. We bring together 150 to 200 entrepreneurs every single month to come and connect, collaborate, mastermind, create businesses together. We have different speakers on stage, and every single month is a different topic, anywhere from real estate investing, wealth creation, taxes, AI, branding, marketing, whatever it is, right? Dating, we had you as a speaker for one of our dating events, and it's just been a community that has been created in the last 4.5 years, and it feels like a family now. So if you ever come to Miami, you're moving here, make sure you look up Epic Talks, because it's a community of powerful leaders and people that are here to be of service.
It absolutely is. What I did want to talk about is, how did you come up with the phrase, "you're only one connection away"? Where did that, where was the birth of that? Has this been something you've been saying for some time, or did it come to you like 4 years ago? How long did you say Epic Talks has been going on now?
4.5 years,
Okay.
I would say. Yeah.
Okay. Where did that come to you?
So I'm also a master networker and also a master connector. And, so connecting people, what I notice is, wow, they just found the love of their life. Wow, they just raised $1.5 million. Wow, now he has an email marketer, somebody doing the copywriting for him. Now he's published in a magazine right? So you're one connection away from a new business idea. You're one connection away from being on a podcast. You're one connection away from, going to a dinner, meeting the love of your life, like Kristen and DJ Thelian happened. She wasn't supposed to come to the dinner. He wasn't supposed to come either. She was stuck in traffic. He was still debating if he was going to show up. They both showed up, and that was the dinner where they connected and started, an interest there. So one connection away. I can't tell you the specific moment in time where I was like, ta-da, no, but I know I started saying it on stage, and a lot of people, they quote me with that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people can resonate with that. And for the audience that's listening, I have a lot of, entrepreneurs that listen to my podcast, and many of them are single entrepreneurs. And you had our relationship began on an audio platform that people still are using. I'm thinking of going back to it and testing that out, but it was Clubhouse. And this was, in the pandemic. And I recall that, the people that I had shared time and space with in the room, we ended up maintaining connections. And I believe it was in 2023 or I think it's 2023 or 2022 that you had called me and said that you were doing, for the first time ever, dating in the 305, because there were so many of your community that were admitting to being single and wanting to make that connection. So we did do that. And on that topic, when it comes down to, romantic searching, I think a lot of times people do struggle, particularly as entrepreneurs. I'm an entrepreneur, you're an entrepreneur. So many of our collaborators and friends also struggle in finding the right person. What can you tell me about, branding for or preparing yourself for that one connection away when you're a single person?
So are you talking about like calling in your person, or one connection away being an entrepreneur connecting with another entrepreneur?
One connection, we're going to romance right now. One
Okay.
connection away from finding your soulmate. Like, particularly because you have a story of a couple that connected at one of your dinners. And
Mhm.
I'm sure there's so many more over the years that have made those connections, romantic or personal, or like romantic or professional, sorry.
Yes. So for me, when it comes to dating, being a single entrepreneur, um, I'm open. I'm open to someone who thinks like me. You know,
Mhm.
someone who is a leader, someone who is creating impact in this world. Uh, someone who sees my vision and believes in it and wants to support me with it. That's someone that doesn't feel intimidated by, what I'm creating and by my success and who I am. And, I'm consistently speaking with other men, other women, someone that can handle that, you know? So that's a tricky question for me because I've been single for a long time.
Well, this might be the year that we can change that status. But I think in particular, people, a lot of entrepreneurs come to me and they don't really see or believe, like they kind of have this walk this fine line between networking and finding an opportunity to connect romantically with someone. And
Mhm.
to your point, there are a lot of singles that attend events. Maybe they were there for a professional reason, but if you are out and about as a single person, I will say myself as a matchmaker, a tip that I would share with somebody is show up as somebody ready to meet somebody to make either that romantic connection or that professional connection. I believe you can have both. I think there's a time and place for it. I believe that where you do it, how you
Mhm.
inquire is important. So what's a networking tip that you can, as a female, how would you want to be approached by someone at a professional event that may be curious about you romantically? What would be a soft way or gentle way that would be unintrusive to you?
Okay. Well, first of all, I always say to women, walk in like you own the room. Walk in like this is your event. Dress to impress, have your makeup on point, smell good, make
Mm,
mints with you, make sure you're just looking absolutely flawless. And look at everybody in the eyes and say hello and smile. There's
yes.
nothing more beautiful than a beautiful, confident woman just walking in and smiling, because immediately everybody stops. Because majority of the people at networking events are like in a little circle, just like kind of like not knowing what to do. Like I walk into an event, I say hi to everybody, and then say,
Yes.
"My name is Melitsa Waage. We haven't met yet. What's yours?" You know?
Love that. Right? There's a tip right there. Hi, my name's Melitsa Wagi. We haven't met yet. What's your name? I mean,
Yeah.
you're at a networking event. A lot of times people like they're at networking events and they're not networking.
Mhm.
They're like people gazing. What's up with that?
Yeah, exactly. And like looking people up and down. No, I want to get to know you. Before you go into an event, come with an intention,
Love
right?
it.
What is your intention of being there, right? For me, when I go to networking events, I'm not looking for love, I'm looking for business. Okay.
Right.
So who is your perfect avatar? What do they look like? What age are they in? What income bracket are they at?
Yep.
Right? Who are they surrounding themselves with? You know what I mean? Like what kind of business are they in? Who's your perfect avatar? For me, it would be entrepreneurs, 28 to 45, 50, right?
Yep.
That have their own businesses, that are looking to create other business relationships with other entrepreneurs, right?
Yep.
And men and women. And then also connect with people at the event that can bring you to the people that is your perfect avatar.
I
You
love that. I really just want to encourage, even for many of my clients who, if you describe the busy, driven, motivated entrepreneur that already has a pretty hectic schedule, it is nice to go to a networking event with business in mind
know?
and have the bonus of meeting people that can be your lifelong friends, and even better, a romantic partner. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's a matter of your intent, and not, being there lurking around, and just sort of like, also managing body language, right? People who are open to that conversation or personal will go there with you, right? Of course, that may not be their intent. Just, put a feeler out, but don't be aggressive with it, right? Because people who go to, and I do say to my clients who are interested in attending business functions with the hopes of attracting or finding a romantic connection, is to be sure that they're attending the business functions that they actually have interest in. They're
Mhm,
either there to learn or they're there to contribute. And I
mhm,
love how you say, as a woman, walk in like you own the place. I will add I will add the importance of femininity, however, right?
mhm.
Because already you're a boss, babe. The fact is, you're tall too, right? You're tall, you're beautiful. You walk the room, you own it. Oh my God, I can't approach her. That's on them though. Okay. But Melitsa makes it a point to diffuse a situation by being the one to approach. As a
Mhm,
woman, I think that that is so important,
mhm.
because you are going to stand out when you're somebody that's not afraid of getting to know somebody. And there are more people that are wallflowers standing around than those that take action. So that's really a great way to separate yourself from the crowd.
Absolutely. I love going to events. I love meeting new people because, again, you're one connection away. You never know who you're going to meet. You never know if because of that person you're going to meet your soulmate, you know? Um,
Absolutely.
another thing that I like to do, maybe a question to break the ice. The worst thing that you can ask someone is like, oh, so what do you do? That is like a no, a hell no.
What
Okay.
what is your way of discovering what somebody does, or is that something that you lead with? I'd be curious to know what you do.
So I basically say, once the introductions happen, so tell me a little bit about yourself. What's a passion project that you have going on right now that you're excited about?
Mm,
All
right.
entrepreneurs, our businesses is our passion. Do you know what I
Yes.
mean? Our businesses is our passion. And then they'll start telling you about the passion project, right? And you keep continue asking them, oh, so tell me a little bit about more. Oh, well, it's with children, it's with people with cancer, it's with, you know what I mean? And then you kind of go 2 or 3 layers deep, right? Then what you do is like, well, how do you need support with that? So now they're
Mm,
already talking about themselves. So now they're starting to like you because they're sharing about themselves. Don't forget, people love talking about themselves.
yeah.
Okay. They love talking about themselves. So then the moment you say, so where do you need support with that? Oh my God, thank you. Do you know anybody who, works in hospitals with children? Do you know women who work with battered women? Do you know people that are working with the homeless? And majority of the time, us entrepreneurs, we know a lot of people. You
Yes.
know what I mean? We know a lot of people. And that's pretty much how you kind of break the ice, and then you kind of see if you both can support each other. And one of the most important things you could say is, and don't take too long at networking events. Try to meet people, be like, hey, it was so nice meeting you. Let's connect. How can we connect? Get their email, get their social media, get their phone number, take a selfie with them. Like, I'm gonna
Mm.
send this to you because we're meeting so many amazing people that when we text each other, I want to make sure that I don't forget who we're texting, right? Take the selfie and then
100%. This literally happened in Las Vegas. No, where were we? Like, we were just in Orlando. No, Fort Lauderdale. So you introduced me to Larry. Larry immediately took out his phone. He took a picture and said, I need to remember this. And this was a guy, ladies and gentlemen, right? Like, and I thought, that's so cool. I do that too. If
uh,
you guys are not utilizing, and that's why it's important to look good, have you now, not all women need to wear makeup, but if you're saying, I don't want to take a picture of myself, I don't look great, like, that's an obstacle. You want to remove any obstacle of you connecting with somebody because you didn't look good, you chose the wrong shirt or whatever it is. Be camera ready. At so many events right now, there's photographers, there's videographers, right?
mhm,
There's, you could be in the media the next day. So many of the events that I go to are either celebrity driven, a charity, super high profile, and I'm going to catch myself in a photo for sure. And so I always make sure that I'm photo ready. Okay. That may seem like a little extra to some people, but we're living in a very video, image based time. And people always remember you based on that impression. And your impression compiles of what you look like, what you sound like, what you behave like. And it's that entire, experience that you leave someone in at a networking event that makes you either memorable or forgettable. Really.
And people, I love that you just said that. People will never forget how you make them feel.
100%.
Okay?
I say that all the time.
So I'm huge on compliments, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love your shoes. Where did you get them?
Mm-hmm.
Those pants look great. You came to this event looking really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then because I'll give you an example. The other day I was walking out of my building here in Brickell, and I'm crossing to the market right here in the building. And this father gets out of the car and his little boy's sitting in the seat. And I'm like nonchalant, like not thinking that I look amazing, whatever. He goes, my son said that you're the most beautiful thing he's seen.
Oh, so cute.
that like just made my day. You know what I mean?
And I have his number when he grows up 20 years from now.
That could be like 10 or 11 or something like that.
Oh, that is so cute.
And so that just totally made my day. So compliments are so important. Like to a woman, your makeup looks so beautiful and your hair does too. To a man, oh, I like your watch. I like your cufflinks. I like your belt. Like, and this doesn't cost you anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And here's what I'm hearing that maybe for the listeners, for those who are watching, you can see our energy. For those who are listening, what I'm already getting is that Melitsa's prepared. Okay. The fact that she comes in and she says to someone, instead of what do you do? So what's a project that you're working on? What's a passion for you? Something different, something that is going to invite a conversation. Like, this is open-ended questions. We all know, if you don't already know that at this point in the game, then no, don't ask yes or no questions. Ask questions that are going to invite further conversation. The fact is, if you're going to a networking event and you're somebody that doesn't know what to ask, go in with 10 questions, 5 questions that you can ask anybody. There are connection cards. There's plenty of resources that you can use so that you have something that you can ask that sounds out of the box instead of the standard dating interview. I got to tell you, there was an article in the New York Times. It was called the 36 that did really, really well. It was a gentleman who I can't credit the person because I forget their name, but they wrote the 36 questions that lead to love. And the promise was that if you sat down with somebody and you asked these 36 questions that lead to love, that would open up a deep connection with that person, because these were not out of the box questions.
Where do I
Have you ever heard it? You've never heard of this?
No.
Oh my God, girl. You can I highly recommend you do the 36 questions that lead to love to your business partners, to your family, to people who you care about, because it really gives insight into their thought process, their behavior. How do people behave when they're up against something? What are the choices that they're going to make? One question, for example, Melitsa, is if you could have dinner with anyone living or in the past, who would that be and why? Okay.
I love that.
Imagine asking that, hey, if there was someone in this room that you really wanted to meet, who would that be? Right. And then see that it's take those questions and ideas, because what is that really doing? It's getting you into, who does this person aspire to? What are their real interests? Not what's missing, but hey, if I said the person that I wanted to really meet of anybody in the world, I might say it's my grandfather, my dad's dad, who was one of the most influential people to my father. And because I didn't have the closest connection to my father, I feel like my grandfather would be the closest connection to my dad. And I get to know a little bit more about my father through his eyes. Because I know when he passed, it was such a the only time I ever saw my father cry, right? And
Mm.
so for me, that's a story that I could share, and I could share. It's vulnerable. It shows some idea of what matters to me, which is family. Family matters to me a lot. Now I know someone else said, oh, someone said that they wanted to meet Kim Kardashian or something, right? And then the guy said, "Oh, I'm done. This date's over." No
I would have
offense,
I would
no
have said
offense
the
to the
same thing.
Kardashians, right? No offense to the Kardashians, but it just gives you insight. Are you aligned? Is that something you would do? Another question, if I know this correctly, is, what's the first if you were to win $1 million? What's the first thing that you would spend on, or what would be your plan for that, right? Instead of where do you go on vacation, blah blah blah. They're really deep, thoughtful questions that help you make a connection beyond surface. So it's behavioral. So I will send that to you, the 36 questions that lead to
Oh,
love.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
And
So,
you know what's funny? Like when the times that I do go on dates, I actually have my own like pretty good questions, and we have good conversations. But
yeah.
I'm definitely curious about this, and I'm excited.
Sure. And the thing is, in order to ask the questions, there are some questions that you might not feel comfortable asking a perfect stranger, and maybe they're not appropriate for the perfect stranger. But this certainly, when you look at the questions, is good to do if you are considering this person as a romantic partner, you're in early stage dating, or even, as I said, better insight into how your friends think. You and I can do those questions one time as well. So it just gets you deeper into that bond. Just wanted to say that, of course, with networking, and we're talking about not just epic talks, we are going to talk about your inner circle community as well. If you are that one connection away, it starts with opening your mouth. Okay. It starts with taking action and not letting fear guide you. Because I think the number one thing that people say is the public speaking is a fear. I know that a lot of people express to me the fear of approaching someone. And more importantly, what they're really saying is the fear of rejection. Can you share a tip or experience on the rejection piece, or, being afraid to approach someone? What are your thoughts on that?
Everything is energy. Okay.
Mm,
So it's rare that you go up to someone with amazing energy and they're going to reject you.
okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
when you go up to someone like, hey, like they're going to be like, what's
Yeah,
up?
it's kind of weird. I'm like, oh,
Just
like,
be like,
should I be afraid? Like the energy is so like,
or you can even go, hey, I just saw you across the room and I love your outfit. My name is Melitsa. What's yours?
right.
No? Like somebody's gonna be like, no, I don't want to talk. No, it's not possible, right? Or if they're sitting next to you at the bar, just be like, hi, my name is Melitsa. We haven't met. What is yours? Just like have a smile, have that energy. It's all energy. There's never been a time where I have amazing energy and I get rejected. Never.
Yes.
You know?
Even if the person were married or in a relationship, they could say, "Oh my God, if I weren't married, you're like, that's the energy that I'm looking for." Like I've gotten certain things with certain people. It's not a rejection. And
Mhm.
by the way, I don't know. I wish I could say who taught me this, but no means next opportunity. So
Absolutely.
never ever look
I
at a
always
no as a rejection. Go ahead.
exactly. I always say this: rejection is God's protection.
Yes, I've
So
heard
let's
that
say,
too.
so let's say somebody just rejected you and you feel a little stupid, but then you go and you walk 2 seconds later over here and you actually meet your soulmate. That rejection
Right.
was a blessing, you know?
Correct.
So, oh my God, I've been in life in general, in business and with men, like I've been rejected so many times and it leads to something better, you know?
And you have to train your rejection muscle. And for people like I grew up in sales my entire life, and I was a caller. So I worked a telemarketing room for hours and hours. So if you can imagine the kind of rejection I got as a telemarketer, man, I'm built for rejection at this point. I'm so glad that I got a lesson in getting hung up on, sworn at, not answered, like being the door sale. I felt all those things.
Yep.
And yet I never let the no's. It always fueled me to do my next call and my next call and my next call. I always made it a personal personal goal to not be impacted by that. Of course, constant rejection is never good for your psyche or confidence, but it's also an opportunity to reflect. If you are somebody that is getting a lot of no's or rejections, it's important to look at, like, how did you show up? How did you approach? What did you look like? Were you aggressive? Because to your point with energy, you have a lot of energy. And I know my energy can sometimes be too much for some people. I have some energy that could be too much for some people. And if I start to realize that and you're intuitive, then I can tone it down, right? It's about mirroring that as well, and reading that room. You know, sometimes I struggle with, Melitsa, people who say, you know, what's that thing? I'm unfuckable, or don't don't give a shit about what anybody thinks. Just be yourself. I agree to that. I agree with that to a point, because your space isn't more important than someone else's space. I think you really need to read the room and see how people are receiving you, and then mirror that as best you can. But I'm not saying to be a sheep, right? Like, don't just follow what everybody else is doing. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree. What makes people stand out is your uniqueness. Don't be afraid to be unique,
Right.
And also something that stands out for me is someone who's funny, you know, like I was,
You always remember the funny ones, the cute, the physically cute one, or pretty, like, who they are. You can see them a mile away, but the witty ones, the funny ones, man, that's really cool.
I was watching a video yesterday with Patrick Bet-David, and he was talking about the power of networking.
Yeah.
And he was like, have you ever tried just going into an elevator, and you know how normally you just turn your back? Have you ever tried just staying to the front with the elevator full of people? Right?
Oh my God. That is weird. Did he do that?
I'm actually going to try this. I swear. I'm going to try this.
Oh my God. Okay. Whoever you're with, I want you to be recording that. Okay. Because I want to do that with you. We'll take turns at a busy office building and stand the other way and just be like, hi, how are you?
No, just be like, isn't this awkward? Do you think this awkward? And then laughing, just be like, man, I just read an article that, this is how you make friends. Can we be friends now? And then everybody will start laughing.
Oh my goodness.
Then guess what? Especially if you do this in the building you live in, next time you see them, guess what? They're going to start laughing. They're going to be, hey, you're the one that did this. Oh yeah. So what's your name? What floor do you live on? Do you ever go to the pool? No. Do you ever go to this restaurant over here? We should go grab a drink. Yeah. Like, listen, not to brag, but I walk all over Brickell and everybody knows me. Like, everybody, right? And it's because it's one of my passions to be a master networker and a master connector. They all come together, because when you're a master, you master networking, people are going to know that you're a master networker, and they're going to be like, hey, Mel, do you have a person you can connect me with? And those connections become currency. You know? Like we were talking about this yesterday. Connections are currency. Connections are spirituality. Connections is love. Connections is, involving more people in your life. To me, I can never have enough friends,
I agree. And one of the things that I did want to share, because I wanted to not just chat with you, and I knew we're going to have a bunch of nuggets and people are going to take some notes if they're listening to this. How important is personal branding and having that brand as you show up in all of these different spaces? And I also can contribute, and I will talk a little bit about personal branding for love and business. I really do think that they can be simultaneous, and you don't have to choose one over the other. I'm a really strong believer in that. And partially because I've been in the industry in matchmaking for over 32 years. Some of the best connections I've made with people romantically, or some of the most eligible singles I've ever met, have been at these kinds of events. Definitely Epic Talks, hands down, absolutely Inner Circle, and more important, like Grant Cardone's events, any event, like really any event that I've ever been to. I've been to Power Room, I've been to Genius Network, like every single event, Dan Fleischman's events, Thrive, Aspire.
Yeah,
you know, Super Connector Media, multiple events, and the single ones who are single will, and they have a strong personal brand. They're like, by the way, y'all, I'm single. Anybody know anybody? Like they own it. They're not embarrassed about it. Like they understand that their tribe, their safety is in that community. And if anybody's going to give them a vetted match, it's going to be somebody in that circle. So I'd love to for you to just expand a little bit on the personal brand. When you said people in Brickell know you, it's because you did the work to have them know you. You made the effort to be present. You weren't the one with your, although I see you in a cap a lot, but whether you're wearing a baseball cap or looking as gorgeous as you are, you still make it a point to be present, to have eye contact. So talk to me a little bit about the personal branding side, and what do you look for when you Google someone? Or I'd love to know your kind of like process of understanding, is this somebody that I want to do business with? What are the things that you do, and what are the things you look at? I'm so curious.
For me, personal branding is everything. And if you're looking to create a personal brand, I highly suggest that if you're going to keep the same page that you've been using for the last 15, 10 years, clean up your social media, clean up those, videos that maybe you're twerking or smoking a joint or drinking from a beer bong or, those party days. Clean it up, make it look professional, make it look like, if you look at your page, if you were to look at your own page, would you want to work with you?
Yes.
And be honest and authentic about it. Another big thing is have credible names building you up. Have credible names building you up.
So you look at, like, as a businesswoman, you're looking for testimonials. Is that what you are you looking for? Or are you looking for media, or sort of as seen on? Like, what are the kind of things that for you say, oh, this person's, got some authority, or they've got some influence? What are those things that you look for?
I look for the messages that they have on their chats, on their
Okay.
post. I look their messaging, like what are they talking about? Are they inspiring? Are they helping others? I look at their stories,
So you look at the content that they're
Yes.
producing,
I look at
right?
the content, absolutely.
Okay.
I do a little bit of research on them. I think it's really important. Even before I go to events and I see someone that I might want to meet, I go and do some research on them. And then I go and make it a point to meet them at the event and be like, hey, I love the book where you were talking about the power of, building relationships. I'm a master networker, and, I talk about that as well. I love, I saw that you have 2 little kids. Congratulations. Your wife is beautiful. I also started following you on social media, and I knew you were going to
Wow.
I also knew that you were going to be at this event. So I made it a point to come and say hello,
That is really intentional. Like what I'm hearing here, not only is intention, there's some common themes here. There's intent, there's preparation, there's purpose, because
Mhm.
there's a reason that Melitsa wants to connect with this individual. Don't connect with somebody because they're popular.
No.
Like, really, don't do that. Don't connect with somebody because you can see a winning opportunity for a connection. Now, it's not to say that you can't fan out, and just like if Patrick Bet David, I don't have a personal relationship with him. I know you do, or you have had Tim Story. Like, if I don't know who they are, before I start to think, oh, who they are, like you, I would be familiar with what they're producing, what they've done, what are their accomplishments, so that I have something related to talk about. And so when I go to events and I know who I want to meet, like you, my time is so valuable. I'm like, who's the agenda? Because I often do press. So before I go to Collision Toronto, which you're going as well, I'm looking at who's the speaker list. Who can I resonate most with? What project or collaboration is going to help me, or what can I offer them? It's not always about what you get. A lot of it is, how can you contribute to that person? And in your line of questioning, very few people fail to ask, what's missing? Who's a connection that would be of real value to you right now? I have a pretty wide network. Who's somebody that you would want to meet? Oh, I'm looking for a digital marketer, or I'm looking for an AI tool. I know one. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
have a digital marketer. I know a great makeup artist. So I love that.
No, I love it. I
Yeah.
love how you were talking about being intentional. And I'll tell you a quick little story. When I was at the Grant Cardone event last week, this gentleman comes up to me and he goes, "You're Melitsa from Epic Talks." And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "I've been to your events. They're amazing." Da, da, da. And he shows me the list of people that he wanted to meet at the event. And one of the names was mine. You know, so
Amazing.
he had Grant Cardone, he had Jared Glant, you know, he had some of the speakers, and then he had my name. And I was like, that's being intentional. And guess what? Now he introduced me to a platform where it's incredible. I introduced you to him.
Which one? Osiris?
No, the gentleman that I brought you with the girl with the blonde hair.
Oh, yes, yes.
Julius.
They have the LinkedIn, they have the LinkedIn app.
Yes, the LinkedIn,
Yes.
yes.
And you connect. Is he the one who connected with you?
Yeah, he's the one that showed me that I was the one on his list. And then he
Yes.
told me about his company. And now he's going to set up a vendor table at Epic Talks.
And what did Melitsa do? Because I flew in to meet a few people there, and Melitsa in particular. I said, "We need some time, girl. Let's do this. I'm flying in from Toronto." Immediately, she gets a great connection without even hesitation. "Carm, come over here. You have to meet this person." And it was like we were all old friends. You know, everybody's just pulling out their phone, taking pictures, connecting, sharing freely. But that's the situation when it comes to networking and you're in the right energy with the right people and there's synergy. That's what's going to happen. Magic starts to happen. And so we're all like just going to be doing some amazing things.
Yes,
I love that.
This conversation excites me because I kid you not, I love networking. I love connecting. I love meeting people. That's why I love living here in Brickell, because I'm a skip and a hop away from all the restaurants, all the, you know, the beautiful buildings and the shops. And I just go and I talk to people.
And I love that you live in Brickell, because guess where I'm going when I go to Miami? I'm going straight to Brickell.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to move along because I could spend all day with you, but we have multiple conversations to have. And I really hope that our audience is getting a lot of value. I always get value chatting with Melitsa. Melitsa, let's talk a little bit about the inner circle. I do want to talk about that because, you know, for those who are just tuning in at this time, Melitsa runs one of the #1 Miami, what do you call it? South Floridian Miami entrepreneur meetups. It's the last Wednesday of every month. She brings in incredible speakers, and it is always on a topic that continues to change. Can you share a few of the different topics or industries that you've featured speakers on?
Yes.
Maybe the last 3 or 4?
Yeah, artificial intelligence, wealth creation, real estate, taxes. This one that we're about to have is all about the power of press, social media, AI, ads. Yeah, it's called The Future of Marketing.
Oh my God.
Maurer and Brian Breach and Zach Zerk.
Amazing. Yeah. And I will post that link here so that you guys can get your tickets early. If you are listening from another country, you can fly in. There's no reason why you can't fly in, or you can buy virtual.
Yes.
Exactly. Virtual. But for people who, you know, feel like events is a place to start the connection, but people who really want to build community, Melitsa, I want you to share a little bit about why you created the inner circle and how important your community is for you. Why did you want to build this inner circle and this community? Where did that come from?
I wanted to build the inner circle community because I wanted people to come together in a place where outside of the networking event, because when you're networking, you don't really build too much intimacy in these big events. Where you build the intimacy is in the dinners, is in the masterminds, is in having adventures together. It's in going on retreats together, you know? So that's why I built the inner circle. And also a lot of people, they were like, can I pick your brain? Can I take you out to lunch? Can I take you out to dinner? Running events like I do, I meet so many people that if I were to say yes to everybody, I wouldn't have a life, you know, because a coffee turns into an hour plus the time it gets to get ready. Da, 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 da. So once a month we have dinners. Quarterly we have adventures. We just had a mastermind and took a cruise to Mexico with the Think and Grow Rich, the Napoleon Hill Institute, and the Dining Divas. And that was fun. And then we have weekly AI classes with the collective. And then we also have a Telegram group.
I love that. And the reason why I wanted you to highlight that is that a lot of times people take for granted that every individual person brings a certain skill set, a certain expertise. I mean, at the level to which you're bringing people in.
Mm.
And oftentimes, as you said, like time is money. But the value of your time is exponentially different than the value of someone else's time. And I'm not saying my time is more valuable than yours, but I know why when Mikey Rock asked Grant Cardone to do a forward on his book, Grant said it's $75,000 for me to write a forward to your book, and Mike was like, he guess who wrote the forward to his book, because and I'm not saying it wasn't without hesitation, but he has the right to claim his time, and so someone speaking to you or I know you've invested thousands of dollars in coaching yourself, thousands of hours in research and networking. If I sit down for an hour with you, I'm guaranteed to get so much value on networking in particular. And I know you have so many other skills where someone speaks to me, they're going to get so much value in my expertise along those different lines. So the cost or investment of an hour of my time or your time or any one of your inner circle time is far more than the investment of being part of that circle. I think it's exponentially higher. And the reason I say that is a lot of people have not. I'll tell you when my life changed and my business changed is when I made the first investment into my PR coach or branding coach. Shout out to Lisa Stedman. This was in 2010 when I reached her, when I contacted her, and I was referred to her through Melanie Gorman, who was a senior vice president of Your Tango. Your Tango was a relationship blog, still is. And because I was not a nobody, if you Googled Carmelia Ray in 2010, I was on page nowhere. You would have to scroll like to page 500. Okay. You Google Carmelia Ray now, I'm in a lot of major news. I rank number one for Google for online dating expert, matchmaker, celebrity matchmaker. So I've built years in getting that SEO strategy, but I didn't have that when I was writing. To that point, when I had to hire somebody, or I thought I had to hire somebody, she was charging $350 an hour. And this is in 2010. Okay. When I retired myself from my job and I had 2 years to survive before I went broke. Okay. So I'm like, damn, $350 an hour to me was a lot of money.
Mhm.
But it's when I did that I got what I needed to build my own brand. And then I invested $1,000, and then I did 1,500. And then I was comfortable spending, five figures to be coached by someone. And you know why? I charge five figures to be coached by me, right? And to invest in my services because I've invested in myself. And that's one thing that I do want to share with people who are afraid of investing in themselves or worry about the money. If you don't invest in yourself, uh, and you have a business or service to offer, you're only going to invest as much or ask people to invest in you as much as you invest in others. That's really when things changed for me. What are
Yeah,
your thoughts on that?
absolutely. It's all about investing in yourself. I probably in the last 8 years, I've invested over $250,000 of my own money into coaching, into programs, into developing myself, into who I am today. You know what I mean? Writing a book, like all that
Sure.
stuff. You know what I mean? You hire coaches for all these things.
And
You know?
having a radio show, and
Yeah,
then being able to build this community. So I
absolutely.
did want to specifically invite you to have this conversation, not just about networking, about the opportunity in Miami right now. If you're in Miami, anywhere in Florida, forget that. Like I fly to Epic Talks. People fly to Epic Talks. Don't like this is not something that is just for local people. Okay. If you want to go virtual, you can, but nothing beats an in-person connection. So I highly recommend you look at the agenda for Epic Talks as they go along, because it is worth the trip, because you are one connection away
Yeah.
from your soulmate, your next business partner, your next million, your next 5,000, any amount of money is going to make a difference. And so the other thing is you are launching something that you've never offered before. I got a sneak peek of a like some of your best tips. So maybe you can just drop a few of what you created. And this is something that I had recommended her to do because I'm like, girl, you have so much like juice inside of you that needs to be squeezed, but it has to be something that people need to get a hold of. So tell me a little bit about that.
So I created something called the OCA method, the one connection away method.
Ooh,
So,
yeah. That was born yesterday, y'all, or 2 days ago.
yeah, pretty much. And it's teaching people how to epically network, how to build connections, how to break the ice, how to show up, how to follow up, what to do, where to find these events, what questions to ask, what to say, how, like just everything,
Oka, the OCA method. I love it. I mean, you embody it. You live and breathe it. And most people who create methodologies create it because it's a winning formula for them. It's a blueprint. So give me some nuggets in this blueprint. What's something that could be applied in the professional, the next networking context? What's the tip?
Gift yourself away.
Ooh, okay.
Gift yourself away. When you meet someone and they created an impact for you, send them a gift. Send them a bottle of wine. Send them, I don't know, a facial. Send them something, and you can even order a case of 100 bottles of wine at $6 a bottle, and you have 100 bottles of wine. What's the investment? $600, and just ship them to people that you just met.
Nice.
And or someone that created something for you and did a really great connection for you. Another thing is send people letters or a note to their own. Handwritten letters and handwritten notes. Like people don't do that anymore.
Right. And you'd have to take the extra step of finding out what their company is, right? Where are you based? That physical card, by the way, that's a PR tip. I know I haven't even shared my PR tips, but anytime I've been on a major news network, I have sent either a physical gift to the producer of that show, or I've immediately sent a gift card to the booker or to the person that anybody that was involved in me getting on air to a major morning show. Oh, they got to thank you. And guess what? I got called back. So that's incredible.
Exactly.
Very few people do that.
Yes. Also, another thing is consistently be visible. Don't let these people forget you. One little awesome little secret nugget, right? Put their birthday in your calendar. When's your birthday? You know what I mean?
I'm March 25th.
Yeah. So put their birthday in the calendar, and when their birthday comes, guess what? You write a little note. I met this person. This is so and so. This is their name. So you go to the text message. You probably have a picture with them. You send them a text and be like, "Hey, it's Carmelia Ray right here. Just wanted to say happy birthday." Even if you haven't spoken to them in a year, the fact that you took the time to send them a happy birthday, that's going to mean the world to them.
Wow. Those are all amazing. So now this is the I'm going to gift Melitsa away right now. Okay. Melitsa, where can people find you, attend your events, get to know you? I am going to put it all in the link description, but I'm looking at her beautiful face right now. So where can people find you personally and what you're up to?
LinkedIn, Melitsa Waage, Melitsa Waage.
Okay.
You can also find me on Instagram, Melitsa Waage, and also Facebook is the same thing. You can send me a DM on Instagram, and someone from my team, I'm sure, will get to you. And what else? Oh, epictalks.com, epictalksmiami.com to get your tickets.
Yes.
You make sure you follow the Epic Talks Miami Instagram. There you'll get all the updates and videos, and you'll get to see everything that we're up to and who's coming next month. And
go to epictalks.com to get her OCA method, never before given. You got to give your contact because she is a networker, and by being in her network, I'm just going to tell you, man, beautiful things happen. You do not know what you don't know. And I have a Rolodex of people in multiple industries that are a phone call away. Guess what? That one connection away becomes
Yeah.
one call away because
Mm,
now they're a contact. Guess what?
exactly.
That's amazing. I
Exactly.
love it. Girl, thank you so much. I am so pleased and honored to be partnering with you. I am just a real advocate for what you're doing in the love space. I've been, I've had the pleasure of being a matchmaker to help people change their love lives. And I am now, like you in the past 10 years, I have just been making connections everywhere I go, love, business, whatever. I just think it's really, what did I say? What did we say? Connections are currency. Connections lead to so many opportunities. So,
Mhm.
thank you all for being here. This is Carmelia Ray Better Love Podcast. I will see you next week. Bye, Melissa.
Bye. Thank you.